Hi guys, this is week 48 Project Life and I'm doing something a tiny bit different today. I've got my photos and I've also got the sequin shaker pocket that I had made from last week. And for the rest of this spread, I am going to use Brandon Kincaid's newest digital kit, which is Extravagant Hope and the January edition. So I'm going to start by showing you how I altered some of those digital pieces to create cards for the spread. I'm starting with my title card and I'm going to use this 3x4 polka dot card, but I'm going to create a 4x6 with it. So I just rotated it 90 degrees and then I'm going to use the crop tool to create a 4x6 card, and then I can go ahead and print that. So that's the piece for my title card there. Now I'm just going to swap these photos around because one of the cards in the kit has this gorgeous quote on it. But again, it's a 3x4 card and I just want to make it 4x6. But first I'm going to go to Image Adjustments and invert it because I don't want a big black card down the bottom of my spread. I want it white. But I did want that grace, the word grace, to be pink. So I'm just using the wand tool to select that and then go back and invert it again so that it is back to being pink. Now if I go to image and canvas size, I need to create a 6x4 card. So I'm going to create the width at 6. Click the little right square so that it goes to the right, the extra space, and then I can print that one as well. Now I need a pattern card or something to go behind this little square photo now, and there's this really gorgeous stripe, but because the photo is going to take up most of it, I feel like the stripe's around the wrong way. So I'm just going to rotate that and then scale it so that it fits into my 3x4 space. Now it doesn't matter that there's a big blank space at the top because I'm going to cover that up with photo, so I can just print that as it is. Now there's this really cute card that's got this really beautiful quote on it, slowly but surely, but I wasn't sure that if I punched that out it would fit on my coffee photo. So I'm just using the wand tool and I'm going to select just the white words that are there and then go to edit and copy, and then I'm going to reprint a copy of my photo with the words on it. So I just need to crop my photo back down to 3x4. And then I can go edit and paste the words in. Now you can see this isn't exactly a coffee, this was a mermaid latte, but I just thought that the blue circle would show up that quote really nicely, but was really worried that by printing it I would never get it the right size, so this way I can be sure that it is exactly the right size for my photo. And so I've printed out that photo, so I do have that extra one there. I don't throw these extra photos away, like I'm sure I'll be able to use it in a traveler's notebook or in some other project anyway. And then there's another really great quote card in there as well, but it is, again, it's a 4x6 and this time I need it to be 3x4. So I'm going image size, and I'm going to change that to 3. So the width of the card is 3. It doesn't matter how high up it is because I'm going to end up trimming that so it fits on the bottom of my photo anyway. And I know that there are a couple of little pieces on this card here, small goodness, that I want to use. So I'm going to use my lasso tool just to select the sunshine image that's there and go edit copy and edit paste. And then you can see in my layers palette, I've got a layer that's just got the sunshine on it. And I'm going to make that sunshine just slightly bit bigger by going to transform and scale. And then I do want the word goodness that's on the bottom of that card too. So I'm grabbing my marquee tool, dragging that so it covers up just the word, and then doing the same thing, copy and paste. And then I can remove the background layer and just print those two pieces as they are. Now I've got those two little pieces, I can trim them down. I'm going to use just the tiny little word there. And the sun image, I thought I wanted to just punch it into a circle, but I never measured anything. I probably should have. The sun would have been perfect the size that it was, as it is. I've made it too big to fit my punch, so I'm going to use a circle die instead. And that will end up going on that top photo. So that's all my basic pieces done. So now I can really quickly just put this spread together. All I'm going to do to that card is just stick my photo on top. And then I'm going to, rather than trim this, I'm just going to tear the top of it just to give it a little bit more texture. And then I'm going to add some glue, and I'm just going to glue it in place on the bottom of my photo. And then I can just trim off the excess, and that way I know that I've got the right amount of quote on there. And I decided to flip this card around and put the photo on the bottom rather than the top, just because that sort of corner was ending up with a lot of printables, so I want to spread them out a little bit. And then just going to use a glue pen just to stick this tiny word down in the bottom corner, and then trim off the excess. Now, I wasn't really loving how this little sun worked out, so I decided to stick it down, and I'm going to do some stamping underneath. So I grabbed the bold alphabet from Feed Your Craft, and I'm just going to stamp Heatwave underneath that just with some dye ink. The stamping is really messy, it's really not straight, but I'm really not in the mood to reprint anything and fix it, so I'm just going to go with it. Now, I had grabbed this little bowl of bits and bobs on my desk because I knew it had some little labels in there. They're just from a Kelly stamp set that I had cut and trimmed out and had already going there. And then in that same little bowl was this tag from an older Feed Your Craft kit, so the colours couldn't be more perfect to match that title card, so I just punched the hole out, and I'm going to add a little bit of black and white twine in there, and then just stick that down the bottom of my photo, and I can add some stamping and journaling on that one too. So I'm going to use that same stamp set just to stamp out sort of like a mini title on the tag. And I'm adding that at the top so I can add my journaling in underneath. Now, because I've used that same stamp set twice, I want to add it a third time, but I'm just going to use some white ink instead of black because it'll suit this photo better. And I'm just going to stamp a tiny little mini title above the wee mini word too. So now my spread is pretty much done apart from my title card. So I want to tear it so it sort of matches that yellow piece there. So I just grabbed an older 4x6 card, but it's got rounded corners, so I trimmed the bottom of it straight and then just glued the paper on top so that it's the right height to be 4 inches before I measure out the stamps I'm going to use and just tear the bottom off it. Now this is a really old alpha from Kelly Stamps. You can see how well loved it is. Stand Tall, I think, is the alpha. It's no longer available, unfortunately. It is my favourite. And I'm just stamped that out in black ink, and then I'm going to add my tiny little blue label above that and add my date stamping. So you can see how easy it is to alter any sort of digital elements that you need to make them suit your spread rather than the other way around. And then I think I'm just going to add a little bit of journaling. So I've got a wee spot on this tag, and I'm just going to draw in some lines before I add my journaling in. And a little bit on my Heatwave photo as well. I mean, you could very easily add a whole lot more enamel dots or stickers, but I'm trying to keep it simple so I can get it done. So that's one down, 4 more weeks to go. I'll leave the link below for Brandy's gorgeous shop where you can buy all of these beautiful digitals. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. There's a couple more videos on screen if you want to keep watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Bye!